First off, I want to thank the brave men and women who work behind the wall. I want to thank them on a national level because their job goes unrecognized.
How do they try to turn a guard?
Well, correctional officer. Sorry, I apologize. But correctional officer.
How you guys doing today? It's Anthony Gangi, host of Tier Talk. So I just got done watching episode 3 of Escape at Dannemora. I'm all caught up. And I like what they're doing. I like the fact that they're staying focused on the individuals that were involved in the escape and talking about how that manipulation occurred, the complacency as well. And I like how they're not using that to define the system. I mean, there's no pretty picture here. We know what happened at Clinton. But it's great to see that they're not generalizing it out as a definition of who we are and the role most of us play. And again, I always tell people it's not the manipulation that got the public's attention. We know that happens all the time. It's the escape. And obviously the manipulation was a big part of the escape. So again, I'm enjoying the content. I find that's being done very fairly. Again, I believe it's accurate because of what I read from the Inspector General's report. But again, I didn't live it. But I just like the fact that they're not generalizing it out as a definition of what we all do, the role we play. I thought it was done very respectful and stay focused on the individuals that were involved. There's a part, and this is what I want to dedicate the episode to, where David Sweat gets separated from his job in which Joyce Mitchell supervises. Now at this time they already have a relationship. They've already crossed the line. And when they get separated, whatever sense of control that Joyce Mitchell believes she has is gone. And again, I say believes she has because she never had control. But in this point here, she may have a perception of control. And then when they finally separate them, again, David Sweat got in trouble, so he gets separated from the job, so she no longer directly supervises him. She goes through a bit of a scramble and some acts of desperation. Now, I want to focus on this when we come back from our sponsors, but I'm not going to take it from the perspective of Escape at Dannemora. That's just what gave me the idea. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to discuss what goes on in the mindset of an individual who has committed to a relationship with an inmate that's very unprofessional, and what happens when they feel that they've lost their sense of control. Now again, in my opinion, they lost the sense of control the moment they entered that relationship, but they may not realize that. So this is a moment where they start to realize that the inmate is no longer in their direct supervision. And there may be an effort to keep that communication with that inmate. And that's where you start to find out that there is a relationship, because they start to slip. They start to get sloppy. So when we come back from our sponsors, I want to explore that. And I believe that's being played out very well in Escape at Dannemora. All right, guys, so if you haven't, the show Tier Talks for you brave men and women that work that front line of correction. So please subscribe. When you get a chance, interact on the community board. Also share the content. And guys, don't forget, when you subscribe, hit that bell. That bell's going to notify you every time I post up a video. I stand by for our sponsors.
I wanted to attend a university that had an intelligence program. I wanted to look at problems different. I wanted to increase my critical thinking abilities. AMU offered those avenues to expand. Obtaining your degree as an adult, you're actually paying yourself and investing in yourself. You can't put a dollar on it, it's priceless. It's something that can never be taken away from you.
American Military University. Learn from the leader.
Thank you guys for listening to our sponsor. You know, Escape at Dannemora got this correct when they talked about the separation of Joyce Mitchell and David Sweat. This is a very important part of that episode because it plays out in real life. You see, at this whole time, Joyce Mitchell believes that she has a sense of control over this unprofessional relationship. And mind you, she's already crossed the line. She's had sex with David Sweat. So she believes, and again, I say the word believe, or she perceives that she has a sense of control. That control gets lost when they're separated. And again, now in my opinion, she never had control. But in her mind, the control is gone the moment they get separated. When this happens, there's going to be an effort from the corrupted staff member, the one that's having this relationship with this inmate, and mind you, they've already crossed the line, to communicate with that inmate. That effort is to regain that sense of control that they feel that they've lost. Now, mind you, again, they lost that sense of control the moment they got involved in that relationship. Now, that sense of control that they're trying to get back. It could come in the form of trying to get a staff member to communicate for them. Now, by the way, guys, don't be that staff member. Don't pass letters off for another staff member to an inmate. Don't communicate anything undue, because that's what happened here at Escape at Dannemora. They may even use inmates to pass the message. They may even write to the inmate from home. But the point is, they're trying to recommunicate to get that level of control that they feel that they've lost. And now they're in desperation mode. That's part of the reason why when there's a rumor mill that there's a relationship that's unprofessional between a staff member and an inmate, but let's say management can't prove it, they're going to separate them. One reason why is because of the fear that contraband could come in. Like, I may not be able to prove it, but there could be that chance that there is a relationship, so let's just separate them. Also, to see the person's perspective once they've been separated. So in this case here with Joyce Mitchell, oh, he's my best worker. What are you doing? I need him. She needs him. That's a problem. So just in general here, when you go to separate a staff member from an inmate, let's say you tell them, hey, listen, there's rumor mill going on. We know it's not true, but in the meantime, we're going to separate them. In my case, I'd be like, go ahead. I don't want that rumor mill. Go ahead. But for someone that may be involved with that inmate, they may try to defend their position. Why are you going to separate them? They run my unit good. We didn't do nothing wrong. It's going to make it look like we're doing something wrong. But either way, they're going to defend their reason not to be separated from that inmate. And that right off the bat kind of gives management, okay, something's not right here. Something is definitely not right. The reason why the separation is, again, a problem for them is because whatever perceived sense of control they have is now gone. They can no longer connect to that inmate. They can no longer communicate. And therefore, if they can't communicate, they can't establish what they feel is that sense of control. And we know at all times, the moment that line's been crossed, the sense of control is no longer with staff. It's with the inmate. So I thought Escape at Dannemora played this correctly. You see that there's an effort to separate staff from the inmate. She defends her position that she needs him. She tries to keep it as it being professional, but we already know it's not. They already crossed the line. And then her acts of desperation, her need to communicate with that inmate. And unfortunately, in this case, she's using staff to do that. But again, guys, I thought that part plays out well. I thought that part's true to life. And I thought that maybe I can also give you like a little bit of a real world example. So again, I love your thoughts on this. Unfortunately, we can't comment just yet. I'm waiting to kind of weigh out this little issue I have with the other prison channels. But in the meantime, this is just food for thought. Just food for thought. As always, guys, the show's here. Talk slow. So please, if you haven't, subscribe, interact, engage, comment, hit that bell. I said comment. Sorry, it's part of the routine. But definitely hit that bell. That bell's going to notify you every time I post up a video. All right, guys, stay safe.